Hare Krishna. So, I'm very happy to be here with all of you.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So we all love to hear about the activities, the reciprocation that the Supreme Personality of Godhead displays when He comes to this material world. Isn't it? Well, since we are in Krishna consciousness, we don't have a choice also. Isn't it? Because if we do not willingly accept this option, then we are not going to make many people happy. Everyone wants us to be happy. However, if we do not hear about and take pleasure in hearing about the activities of the Supreme Lord, then our friends and people that we know are not happy. Is that true? It's true. So what is more difficult to accept? That if you don't hear Krishna's pastimes, then we will fall in illusion in Maya? Or is it more difficult to accept that if we don't listen to Krishna's pastimes, then our friends in Krishna consciousness will not be happy? Well, I would rather say that people not being happy with us is a little more difficult, isn't it? The reason is we have to deal with them every day or almost every week. With Krishna, we can see what we have to do at the end of life. That is how the mind convinces us. Isn't it? So the mind also, the trained mind or sufficiently trained mind also encourages us to be eager, hearing Krishna Leela, and the influence of the external world on the mind also creates a lot of distraction in our lives. We have to deal with both. Isn't it? For example, there was such a sweet kirtan going on. It was sweet, right? It was sweet. And then now we have to hear a lecture. We have to deal with both. Yeah. But truthfully, we'll have to see whether the lecture is sweet or not. The kirtan was sweet. Yeah. So Krishna, he appeared 5,000 years ago. In fact, in the next century also, they are just going to say Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. It's as if Krishna is eternal. Srila Prabhupada in the previous century, he said, Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. Today we in this century are saying Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. And we already said in the next century it's going to be the same. And therefore we say that Krishna is eternal. So we just, oftentimes we just repeat. Repetition is good. Like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then we go again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So repetition is good. For whom? The tongue, I guess. But now we have to apply the mind. We have to apply our consciousness. That which we are trying to routinely, regularly repeat in our lives. Isn't it? So when we say Krishna was born 5,000 years ago, we should go, Haribol! Because born. But most of us are like, yeah, yes. We are so chilled out about it, isn't it? Anyone's birthday coming up? In the coming year?
Next month.
Your birthday next month. So it's going to be an exciting day, isn't it? Yeah, exciting day, isn't it? What if you say, how old are you now? 13? What if you say, and what is your name? Avanicha? Is that correct? Avanicha? So Avanicha appeared 13 years ago. But birthday, yes! Isn't it? Yeah. So anyways, Krishna appeared about 5,000 years ago. And he had a lot of friends. I mean, he had no problem having friends. He did not have to make friends. He just had friends. What are they called technically? Krishna's Gopa friends. Krishna never knew that 5,000 years into Kali Yuga, his group of friends would be called by the American devotees Gopa friends. He's like, hey, did you hear that? We've got a new name for our group. We are now the Gopa friends. Gopa Vrinda. Sometimes you've heard that. Gopa Vrinda. His group of friends. They would have fun every single day. They would go out, play with Krishna. I mean, those are the times, isn't it? Like, since Srila Prabhupada established our movement, and he also established various wings of our movement, like the Gurukula, there's tremendous pressure on children in our movement, isn't it? Like a lot of pressure. As soon as they begin speaking, they have to just, who's that? Prabhupada, who's that? Radha, Madhava, Radha Kalachandji, like that. And then they have to start learning the verses, shlokas. Now somewhere in the Krishna book and the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada says, both places, somewhere you have to find out, that children should be allowed to play. No shloka recitation for them. Somewhere he says that. Not the second part, no shloka recitation is my interpretation. Alright? But he says that children should be allowed to play. Now it was easy for Srila Prabhupada to say that. Most of the parents here would think like that. It's easy for him to say that because Srila Prabhupada never had to go through an experience where the entire family is constrained within a house and a backyard. That's it. Because when Prabhupada says children should be let to play till they are up to 5 years of age, he says that. So where would Krishna go to play? Not in the backyard. Not go upstairs or go into the basement. I mean, they had hectares and acres of land to play on. And There were no child lifters then, except a few who visited from Mathura. So, his friends would love to spend time with Krishna. And they had a lot of demands. A lot of demands. Like, Krishna, let us go here. Krishna, let us play on this tree. Krishna, let us jump down this tree. Krishna this, Krishna that. And it isn't that Krishna was a simpleton. He himself would sometimes instigate his friends to have desires like that. He's like, hey, let's go and visit a friendly neighborhood. Some butter, you know. Yeah. So anyways, the boys grew up. So they were given the facility to go into the forest. Not too far off. And these forests were properly sanitized, I guess. From any wild animals being there, especially the carnivorous ones. So there were the friendly forests. Yeah. Can you give me just 5 minutes? Would you like to do some kirtan for 5 minutes? I have something going on here which I have to take care of. Is it alright? Please. Please do kirtan. So, Krishna and his friends, they would have a lot of fun. So, one day, this particular day that we are going to describe today, Krishna, Balaram, and some of their friends like Sri Rama, you heard of Sri Rama? Subal, maybe in America he's known as Subala. Subala, yes? He loves that accent. Sridham, Subal, Stoker Krishna, and many others. They had gathered around Krishna and Balaram. And they said, there's this beautiful forest. The trees are laden with ripened fruits. And these fruits are so sweet that their sweetness is spreading its fragrance throughout the land.
Sorry, could you say that again?
So, Krishna and Balaram were listening. They were very attentive. There is a problem that this forest is guarded by a person, he is like a powerful person with a lot of friends, and their mentality is to not let anyone enjoy the fruits of that garden. Anyone. So typically, forests are common land, common property. Even the residents of Vrindavan would never lay their claim on any of the forests and their produce. Everyone had equal access. So this was very strange. And if anyone did attempt to enter this forest, they were dealt with severely. In fact, there were rumors that this caretaker and his friends were man-eaters. I don't think so here anyone is going to fight for gender equality now. Do you think so? Like woman-eaters? No. Just man-eaters. Narabhakshak. It is not Nari Bhakshak. Narabhakshak. Never the scriptures say Nari Bhakshak. It's always Narabhakshak because Nara is also used in the masculine sense and also in the neuter sense. So it's the word is used to refer to males, and also it is used to refer to the entire human population. Like Nara Samaj doesn't mean man population. Samaj means society. Nara could mean male, or here when it is being used as Nara Samaj, it is humans, humanity. Alright, so when we say man-eaters, it also means children, women, girls, they could also be eaten up. Okay? Maybe we should try and change all of these words from like human eaters. For a couple of generations that would sound strange. Maybe people will accept it. Anyways, so they were Narabhakshak, man-eaters. They would eat humans, kill them and eat. So these friends were really excited that we would want to visit that forest. Now, if we hear that there is some paranormal activity happening 2 houses next door, I was going to say here, but tonight I would want everyone to have good sleep. Like 2 houses next door, if we hear there is some paranormal activity happening, especially at night, do you think you're going to give down payment for the house? Maybe not. But these boys, like these children are like Krishna and Balaram. The fruits are so sweet. We would like to go to the forest and we would like to eat those sweets. And by the way, we have this gentleman and his friends there. And we've heard that he has this fetish of always taking on the form, of always being in the form of a donkey. That's his fetish. So we've heard this a lot of times. We've heard this story, isn't it? Who are you speaking of? Dhenukasur. Or, in America it's called Dhenukasura. Dhenukasura. So, Dhenukasur. Yes, and the Talavana forest. Now, why would the boys want to go there when it is being shunned by the rest of the community? Do you know why? Because they had seen Krishna and Balaram do strange things right since they were toddlers. They're like, we saw a duck. We saw a crane. We've seen trees fall. So they're like, yeah, no one believes us, but we've seen all of it. Therefore, they did not have any doubts or fear in their minds. Prayachatani Krishna Gandhalobhita Chetasam. Gandhalobhita. Lobha. You know what's lobha? Greed. What are the boys saying here? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami says, the boys are saying, Gandha. You know what's Gandha? Fragrance. Fragrance. Gandhalobhita Chetasam. I dream these sweet forests. I live these sweet fruits. I live and breathe these sweet fruits. All I can think about is when would I taste the sweetness of this? When would we taste the sweetness of these fruits? Gandhalobhita chetasam. So is it alright to be greedy for sweet fruits in Krishna consciousness? Well, let's say it's alright as of now. We don't want to in any ways seem controversial when you speak about the cowherd boys. So they had this, they were expressing to Krishna and Balaram, Prayachatani Naha Krishna Prayacha. Oh Krishna, intense desire. Please. It's like, please, 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 please. So when you say please, 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 in English, in Sanskrit you say prayacha. Saves a lot of energy, isn't it? So prayachatani, two of you, especially you Krishna, Naha Krishna. They say prayachatani, both of you, Naha Krishna. And they say, you Krishna. Gandhalobhita chetasam vanchate mahati rama. And okay, maybe we should take some precautions here. I mean, Krishna is fine, but Sridhama is like, I have defeated him so many times in a wrestling match. But Balaram, no one's ever defeated him. Balaram is like, he has like 100 matches played and 100 all knockouts. That is Balaram's record. But Krishna and Sridhama, it's like out of 100 matches, it's about 60-40 in Sridham's favor. Yeah? So hence, Vanchati Mahati Rama Gamyatam Yadirochyate. These boys are so intelligent. I mean, they're like, Krishna, Balaram, let's go. If it is your desire, if it is your desire, like we are not attached. If it is your desire, yadi rochati. The idea being that just as we would like to have options in life, don't you think it's fun for Krishna as God also to have options in life, like to save or not save? Save, not save. Have options, isn't it? I mean, if you think that, no, God is all powerful and He's supposed to save all of us, Krishna would be typically an old person with white hair, long beard, save, save, save. But Krishna is all attractive. Therefore, He likes to have options too. He has options. So, yadi rochate, if it is your desire, if you feel compelled to accept our proposal, then please let us go to this forest. Now, what these boys have very, very cheekily done is, they have asked Krishna and Balaram, you go and get those fruits. They agree. How did they agree? So Shribhadeva Goswami says, Prahasya Jagatur Gope Vritau Talavanam Prabhu. Prahasya. So Shrutva Rohinipriya Chikirishaya, when they heard their extremely dear friends expressed this desire, Prahasya, he smiled, a broad smile. Both of them had broad smiles. And Talavanam, Prithav, they started moving towards Talavan. Here, when we take a flight, then they have these announcements, right? For all the passengers, they make those announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, they do that? In India, the way we make announcements is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You experienced that in India on the flights? So this is specially made in India. A made in India product. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sometimes when they do it in Hindi, it's really interesting. देवी और सज्जनों, बच्चे और बच्चियों. So, Prahasya, Krishna smiling, or the Supreme Lord smile. Hasam hare avanath khila lok tevra shokashru sagar vishonamatyudaram. Vishoshanamatyudaram. Vishoshana. Shoshan means being exploited. Vishoshan means somebody really knows how to exploit you. That is called as Vishoshanam. Shoka Sagar Vishoshanam. Sagara is ocean. Shoka Ashru, tears of. Oh, bacha. Shoka means lamentation or pain, anxiety. Shokashru. Very troubling. So the material world has been explained to be a place where everyone sheds shokashru, but not just a few tears. Shokashru sagara. Oceans of tears of pain. And yes, you do also have tears of joy and happiness. Otherwise, where's the fun? Is there any fun? You should have the opposite experiences to know what is pain and what is pleasure. Shokashu sagar vishoshanam atyudaram. Atyudara, ati udaram. Very, very compassionate. Udara means compassionate. So Krishna is described here to be very compassionate, very merciful. Why? Because he completely dries up the ocean formed by the tears of pain that a living entity has experienced in life or collected in life. How does he do that? Hasam harer avanata khila loka tivra. By smile. Krishna's smile has this magical potency in it. Now many times we sometimes feel that the deity is smiling. Does Ashoka Ashru Sagar go away? Then maybe we are just seeing the tinge of what could be Krishna's smile. Just the glimpse, the slight glimpse of what could be Krishna's smile. It's not the complete experience of Krishna's smile. So the next time if one is overwhelmed, seeing the beautiful smile of the deity, or especially if you see the beautiful smile of a person that is enacting the persona of Krishna in a drama, you're like, that smile. That smile is beautiful. For the moment, it makes us feel very happy. However, that smile has not dried up the ocean of tears that we have cried. And it will not dry up the ocean of tears that we may cry in the future. However, Krishna's smile, Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Hasam Harer, Avanata Akhila Loka Tivra Shoka Ashru Sagar. Akhila Loka, dries up the tears shed by the entire population of the universe. Just one smile of Krishna. No wonder you'd like to be a devotee of Krishna. Isn't it? Like he's our celebrity. I mean, Krishna should start his YouTube channel or come on Instagram or something like that. Really, it would be fun to have him there. So Prahasya, they smiled at the cowherd boys, and now they enter the Talavana forest. What are the fruits that the cowherd boys get attracted to? From the perspective of this pastime, there is an interesting light shed by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Acharya. However, we will come to that perspective later on. I don't know, maybe tomorrow now. Anyways, so, fruits. There can never be any attraction in life without having to look forward to fruits. You tell anyone, simply chant Hare Krishna, they're like, what will I get? You ask somebody to come and do seva and they're like, what will I get? An extra plate of Mahaprasad at least. Isn't it? Therefore, the organizers are very intelligent. They always let you know what would be the fruits of your labor that you're going to receive. Anyone who comes for this seva, they will get the special memento or the special recognition. So what are fruits? Phala. Like Shruti Phala. What is the benefit of hearing this pastime? Benefits. Everyone is interested in benefits, right? We are used to profit and loss. So the cowherd boys, they speak of fruits. So fruits are desires to achieve a particular object for enjoyment or a particular status or position to feel fulfillment in life. Those are fruits. And these, when we have such kind of goals, such kind of objects of attraction, then we have attraction for them. Then we have lobha for them. If we chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every single day, then after 10 years or something like that, something is going to happen. So there is this bhagat, this sincere devotee. Why are you chanting? Because Srila Prabhupada said 10 years of sincere chanting is going to. And Krishna is like, am I there in the picture or not? Like somewhere. Am I there in this equation or not? Oh yes, Krishna, you're always there in the equation. However, Srila Prabhupada said, if I do 10 years of chanting, this is what I'm going to achieve. You're always there, Krishna. It's like salt is always there in food, you know. So only when salt is missing, that is when you notice it. Otherwise, it's always there. Commonly found. So yeah, Krishna. Obviously Krishna. Don't you see the tilak on my forehead? Don't you see the kantimala here on my neck? You're always there. Still, the fruit, the benefit is attractive. Here's something very, very, very interesting is happening. Of all the forests in Vrindavan, there is this one forest that is guarded, not protected, guarded by Dhenukasura and his accomplices. Now Dhenuka is an asura, which basically means for people like you and me, and we also know for every other living entity, not a very good role model. In fact, someone that we would like to put in our blocked list. Isn't it? On all our social media platforms, block Dhenukasura, block Dhenukasura, block Dhenukasura. That is what we would like to do with Dhenukasura. Because he is an asura. Yes? He is asura. Demoniac mentality. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is like the Newton of philosophy. Everyone was happy with the asuras just being asuras. He sits down and thinks, this asura, what does he represent? That asura, what does that asura represent? And now we have all the list of what the asuras represent, just as the children have to study all the laws of motion that Newton has given. So he is, from that point of view, or we could say, Newton is the Bhakti Vinod of physics, to put it the other way around. So he explains who is Dhenukasura. And he says, Dhenukasura, he represents material consciousness with no inclination towards understanding spiritual subject matters. Now, to make it more relatable to us, basically Dhenukasura represents Anartha. I see. So when I say he represents material consciousness, like, I should say Anartha. Everyone knows what is Anartha? Yeah? So he represents vices. What do vices do? Vices prevent us from achieving a desirable fruit in life. So the cowherd boys, they wanted to have that fruit because symbolically they want to give us a message. Those fruits, they represent the goal of life. What is the goal of life? The sweetness of the loving reciprocation that we have with Krishna. Like imagine every day we dress up the deities, those who have deities. Not every day maybe, sorry. Whatever may be your schedule, you dress up the deities. And after you do the new Shringar, you know that, at least for a couple of minutes you really congratulate yourself. That was good. That felt good. Isn't it? But think, if we get the opportunity to, I could not say actually because they are actually there. If we get the opportunity to do Shringar, to do dressing for Krishna or for Sri Gaura Nitai, that's in flesh and blood. They're like, ouch! Don't put the pin there. And like, Gauranga, hold still, please. The deity stands there, right? And once you're done, you're like, I feel fulfilled. Finally, you put on the dress on Krishna and Balaram. Isn't it? So this is the fruit. This is the goal. To be able to have this loving reciprocation with Krishna and Balaram, with Gaura Nitai, with Gadadhar, Advaitacharya, Sita Ram Lakshman, Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi, even Hanumanji, Madhumangal, maybe Narsingadev. It would be fun too. Not just a deity of Narsingadev, but actually Narsingadev. Should I clip your nails? But no, they look beautiful. He has a Nara Sinha form. Sinha. The torso of a lion. But we never call his nails claws. We always call it nails. Although he is a cat. The form is of a cat. The claws of Narsingadev ripped open the... No, we never say that. We say the nails of Narsingadev ripped open. Isn't it? Hiranyakashipu. Dress of Narsingadev. Feed them. Or tell them, today we just have khichdi. Be happy. Why? Because we went to a program. Or Ekadashi. Today you just have Ekadashi Prasad. It will be fun. That is the goal of human form of life. That is the goal of our Krishna conscious practices. What is keeping us away from that goal? The forest of Talavan being guarded by the vices in the form of Dhenuka Sura. And we need to get beyond them. We have to do it. Those who are with me say I, those who are not with me say nay. Everyone's I. Yes. See, that I does. It's so easy to say I. Because I am. So and so. So that is what Dhenuka Sura represents, and the cowherd boys really wanted to have Dhenuka Sura gone, all of his friends gone, so that this forest of Talavan has open access to one and all. And the boys, they knew for sure that only Krishna and Balaram could do it. They had seen them do a lot of interesting things. Therefore, they were sure that only Krishna and Balaram could do it. Hence, they approached Krishna and Balaram. Alright? So it's 8:35. Tomorrow is a working day. So today what did we speak on? Vices. And fruit of any activity is what makes us have attraction for that activity. It makes us enthused to do that activity. Krishna is supremely attractive. Therefore, if we somehow or the other can convince ourselves every moment of our life, not just once, but every moment of our life, that yeah, we would love to have that option of having loving reciprocation with Krishna, Balaram, or our Ishtadev, the form that we really, really revere in flesh and blood, in person. Now we are having that reciprocation in the form of a deity, which is in a metal form or some other form, picture form. We would also want to have the reciprocation in person. And for that, we need to find a way to go across our vices. Okay? A similar incident has also been described in the other magnum opus of Vedic literatures, Ramayana. When Sri Hanumanji has reached the forest or the garden called the Ashoka Vatika, the Ashoka garden, and he meets Sita. So just as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives perspectives, there are acharyas that give perspectives to the Ramayana too. And in this perspective, Hanumanji asks Mother Sita, "Can I eat some of these fruits, please?" And what unfolds would be the discussion tomorrow. Is it all right? So we'll stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
You brought out this point so beautifully about how the smile of the Lord can really evaporate all dukkha of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned that serving the deity, blessing them, gives a joy. Now, Shastra does not lie. Shastra is saying truth. Then what is stopping that truth from becoming a realization truth? Because when I'm serving the deity, blessing them, I get the joy, so I realize the joy. But when I'm hearing Shastra speak the truth, I'm not getting the joy. What is stopping?
Oh, what is stopping us? So you're saying that when you personally do service to the deity, and obviously one feels joyful with the service done. So when we hear Shastra or read Shastra,
Either way.
either way,
Either way.
when we read Shastra or hear Shastra, we may hear the same thing or something similar. We do not feel joy.
Yes.
So what could be the reason?
Like you said, the smile of the Lord.
Yes.
All the dukkha. Now I heard this speaking right here. I did not feel that same joy. You are saying truth, it's no more just that.
Correct.
So, what is stopping you?
Very good question. Maybe you should, this is just a proposal. Maybe you should try describing these references from the scriptures as a speaker to an audience. Maybe you should try doing preaching. You should try speaking about it to an audience and see. That gives joy, right? See. So even scriptures, when you speak about it, it gives joy.
Oh, I have a thought there. Could the joy be because of my pride that I'm speaking in that case? Because if I'm hearing, I'm not able to say.
Yes.
It starts with hearing, so I should get the same joy.
So you're asking that, could that joy be because
My pride.
it's my pride, because I'm performing that activity? If you want it to be your pride, yes. However, even for pride to be there has to be active involvement.
Yes.
So if you need to feel something in your life, you have to be actively involved. Passive involvement may not necessarily make you feel involved in the process. When you're passively involved, when you're passively participating, it may not necessarily make you feel contributing to that event or process. I'm not saying that it will not. At a particular stage where one comes to the point of being meditative, or in our parlance, according to Gaudiya Vaishnavism, when we come to the stage of Nishtha and beyond, then even passive participation gives joy. Is that okay? You're welcome. Hare Krishna. So start preaching. Prabhupada said, each one preach one. At least we'll be joyful. I preached to that person and that person was listening to me. Good. Today I felt my day was worthwhile. I gave a book to someone and I feel so good about it. Day was worthwhile. If someone gives me a book, I like, yeah, I purchased it. Maybe someday I'll read it. I have to read it someday. So it's passive. I have to go to Srimad Bhagavatam class every day. If the speaker makes it interesting, it's good. If not, like, anyways, Prabhupada said you should attend Bhagavatam class every day. So that becomes the goal. But if I have to speak, I'm like, I'm going to give this example and that's quotation, and then after the class, I really want, I'm like, was it okay, Prabhu? Was it okay, Mataji? Everything? Any feedback? No, you can always let me know if I can improve. So you feel joyful because you're actively involved. Yeah. Thank you so much. Someone had their hand raised up. I saw from. Did you have your hand raised up?
Yeah, if you are, with your kind permission, if I can just add a little something.
Please do.
It's a process. It's a process. It's not something that happens just like that. As we constantly hear more and more, our hearts get purified. And when one listens with rapt attention, then one can fully absorb and one feels joyful even by hearing. If that is helpful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So one quick question. What is the sloka number for that?
First, is it all right? You don't want to pass it on to him? Okay.
Yeah, what is the sloka number? What he was saying? Krishna drives up the shokas.
I think it's from the third canto. Let me see if I have the reference. It's from Kapila Muni's instructions. I'm so sorry. It's from. I'll try and find out the reference and send it to you. It's from the third canto.
That's very beautiful. That's
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu, I was talking about the fruits, the discussion that we had. So I was thinking, we will, in this human form, the desires will never go. We'll always have desires to have some good fruit, which will, put enthusiasm within us to do some work. We always will be desirous to have some fruits at the end. I was thinking that is it always, do we take it negatively always? No, right? I mean, as far as we are keeping Krishna with, somehow related to that, like if I am cooking so nice prasadam today, I'll be desirous that the devotees coming in should be very satisfied, saying some good words about it. If I am doing dressing the deities, then I will be desirous that I at least myself praise that they are looking beautiful today. And my kids or somebody standing there saying, "Oh, you did a really nice work." Does it? I mean, my question is that having a fruit as your end goal, which enthuses you, is it bad? Or I know you will talk something about tomorrow on that, but because you talked about that, I just like Krishna's friends, Goparinda. So they wanted to enjoy that, the fruits, but along with Krishna. They never thought, Krishna, you just come here and get it to me, and then you can go, right? So in that sense, I was thinking, is that bad to have desires and the end goal as a fruit, which makes us more enthused to do that work again?
So, if I get you correctly, I'm just trying to paraphrase. Correct me if I'm not properly repeating it. desires, if they are dovetailed in Krishna's service, so it could be good. So when you speak about desires and attraction to trying to fulfill those desires, is it always bad? Or can we say that if we can dovetail it in Krishna's service, then it can be good? Is that the question?
Yes, and then my end thing is that I am trying, but I think we will never be desireless. It will always be there with us. Some desire will be there to put some energy in us to march towards that. Like if I'm going for book distribution, I will always have a number in my mind saying, I will do this number today. And then if I'm not, then I'm definitely disappointed. I mean, even though I come and then say, yes, 2 hours I spent for Krishna, but I tell that to others, but internally I'm not satisfied. I think that I didn't meet those 10 numbers that I always meet. So, I mean, desires, for me at least, I see that desires never go. It is always there. I mean, if it is spiritually counted or it is materially counted, it is always there. But I currently, I'm trying to clarify that with you, because what I am trying to currently do is that just to dovetail that towards Krishna, saying, is it, somehow can I relate, not falsely, but truly relate that to Krishna, so that at least I am not diverted from my, actual goal to keep Krishna always in the center.
So, is it that we are feeling, I'm trying to again summarize it, is it that there could be a feeling within us that if we are speaking about desires and the challenges that we have with desires, then basically the only option left for us is to be desireless? And if we want to be not falling into the trap of becoming desireless, then would doing it for Krishna be a better option?
Yeah, second one.
Is that?
Yeah, second one.
So the fear is there, and that fear not to be there, therefore dovetailing it is helpful.
So this is my thought process. I just want to clarify that so that I am not speculating to myself. Right? So I feel that desire should be there.
Okay.
I wanted to clarify that.
Desire should be there.
Yes.
So becoming desireless, is that an option? If we understand the clarity that has been given in the scriptures and also by the great seers, scholars who understood the scriptures, especially realized souls who understood the scriptures, they say there's always the option to try and become desireless. There's always an option. One would want to just merge into Krishna and not have any more desire after that. However, will that be helpful? So the proposal, specially given by the Vaishnava Acharyas, that will not be helpful, because the nature of the living entity is to serve. So it may not be helpful. Alright? So the option is always there. That is what is the clarity given to us in the scriptures. Now, should we be afraid of or should we feel fearful that we could fall into that trap? It is always helpful to understand how powerful material nature is. Material nature can exert her influence in such a way that we may feel that our understanding in a particular way is good. Material nature can make us do that. And that can come from a sense of entitlement or pride. So that is also possible. So when does a living entity actually understand that they have an option? When in real clarity, when they can easily see that they have an option like that. Not in the stage of sadhana. It is in the stage of deep meditation when they understand that here I have these roads. I am on that crossroad where I could go one in 5 ways. 5 types of mukti. Obviously for us there is, what is it called as? Pancham Purushartha. They may find that. We hear of it, we read about it, we discuss about it. However, it's like discussing about El Dorado, the city of gold. We discuss about it. We kind of, oh, maybe Brazil, maybe this, maybe that. But does anyone really have an experience of it? We haven't in our generation met with someone like that. So similarly, we may discuss about this concept of monism. However, we really don't understand how attractive it could be at a point where one steps into the realm of becoming free from birth and death. Yeah? So that is when it really challenges us. Right before that, before we come to that stage of becoming free from birth and death, we are only challenged by material illusion in all its forms. Material illusion can come in the form of vikaras, in the form of that which is destructive, explicitly, or it can come in the garb of that which seems to be constructive but is actually destructive, which we speak about as ahankara or pride or feeling entitled. So as long as we are trying to practice sadhana, the scriptures encourage us to focus on the Pancham Purushartha as laid down by the Parampara. The path that has been followed by previous practitioners, the Mahajanas. That is Parampara. So Parampara shows us, okay, at one point of time, a particular practitioner during Srila Prabhupada's time, a particular practitioner during Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's time, a particular practitioner during Bhakti Vinod's time. There are references there. So we can go through it. It could be either through their writings or it could be just experiences passed down generation to generation. So that's the second point, that material illusion is a real challenge for sadhakas, for practitioners, those who have as yet not come to the point of being free from birth and death. Thirdly, desires of always having numbers in the mind is very motivating. Is it possible that people could live with that? Yes. Yes. It could be perfectly possible that that is how one feels content, and one is also not being troubled by material illusion. That is possible. There is a possibility. Just as there is a possibility that someone could be doing service without having a desire for numbers. When you were speaking about book distribution, this is what came to my mind from my readings about Jayananda Prabhu. You ever heard about Jayananda Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple? He would go out doing books because one particular time he gave up his presidentship and everything, and he would simply go out doing books. This was spoken by Vishoka Prabhu or someone, I think so, one of his godbrothers and his dear friends. He said that Prabhupada said all these books are lying here, so you have to distribute those books. So he would go out every day, and he would every single day have the lowest score. And he would do the maximum number of hours, because that is how Jayananda Prabhu was. He was out, the first one to be out and the last one to sleep, whether it is Mangal Aarti, temple services or book distribution. So he would be the first one out to them. And maybe I'm just making an overstatement, but he would really have very, very ordinary scores. He still went about it. So, should we be like Jayananda Prabhu? No, not needed. Because we definitely have examples of those who have given their lives for book distribution, and they always score big numbers. At the same time, there are people. One example is of Jayananda Prabhu, there could be someone else. Variety is the nature of spiritual existence. Always. There's room for everyone to fit in. What we have to be careful about is, at every stage in our life as practitioners, we have to be again and again very, very aware of the influence of material energy. Always. Nikatastha maya tare chhapati adhari.
So, Prabhu, you've been going out for book distribution, like Jalan Prabhu. So, in the back of mind, there will be a desire that it will please Srila Prabhupada if I simply go out
Yes.
for book distribution.
Yes.
Right. And even in the example that you have given, somebody coming out of the fear of birth and death, that means becoming, very soul conscious, right? I mean, it's not the bodily consciousness anymore. So in that case also, I was example coming to my mind is that, like, when Sukadev Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj was completely out of fear of the death. So, but he had still desires to hear that. That is why he was asking questions to Goswami. Otherwise, he could have simply heard that, saying, okay, I know that, just hearing that is fine. I mean, I just wanted to pass with some good deeds. He was very desirous to hear that. Right? So, I was trying to see that can that stage even, when you was completely out of your fear of birth and death, and then you was completely, your consciousness is completely eternal with soul. In that case also you will have some desire to, do some activities, right? Some desires will be left. You may be very simple.
Okay, so you are saying that Parikshit Maharaj, it seems that he was not fearful of death.
Yeah.
And still he had the desire to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And you also said that Janand Prabhu also had a desire to please Srila Prabhupada. So there will be desires. Yes, so I completely agree with you that there is always the position of the living entity to be in a state of having desires. The living entity can try and maybe achieve a state of having merged with Krishna. However, that will not be helpful. So that point is clear? Yeah? So the constitutional position of the living entity being to serve Krishna, being service, it is but natural that the living entity would have desires. Now coming to the point of those who are free from birth and death, and those who are free from the fear of death, are two completely different states of existence. One could be free from the fear of death, may not necessarily be free from the cycle of birth and death. Alright?
That is not in control.
So when we say Parikshit Maharaj is free from the fear of death, are we also suggesting that he is free from the cycle of birth and death?
No, that's not in his control.
Right. So when one is free from the cycle of birth and death, that is when that practitioner, typically the scriptures say a practitioner sees those options in clarity. Right now we hear about it. We imagine about it. There they have sight. They actually see that existence. They visualize it. Is that alright? Can we stop here? Yeah? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.